Right, everybody. First of all, thank you very much for attending my webinar today called 7 Ways to Double Your Business Using Joint Ventures in 2014. Now, we're going to be talking about my favorite topic today, which is joint ventures. And we're going to also be talking about 7 unique ways that you can use joint ventures in your business to at least double your business in 2014. So with that, let's get started. Okay, here's what we'll be covering in this training session. We'll look at the power of joint ventures. We'll talk about something that you need to really have when you're doing joint ventures, and that is the joint venture mindset. We'll look at some real-life joint venture case studies. I'm going to take you through some of the case studies that joint ventures that I've done myself, joint ventures that clients have done, and also take you through step-by-step some of the joint ventures that some of my students who are JV brokers have actually done as well. We've got some phenomenal case studies for you today. We'll also then talk about 7 ways to double your business using JVs. I'll take you through 7 different strategies you can use basically as soon as you get off this webinar to go ahead and do joint ventures. And we'll talk about the ultimate joint venture solution. At the end, I'll show you I'll take you through what I believe is probably the ultimate joint venture solution if you're looking to do joint ventures in your business and double your business using joint ventures. So also, as we mentioned previously when you signed up, I'll be giving away my my unique 7-figure joint venture checklist, and I only give this checklist away to students on my my $15,000 joint venture broken program. So please stay until the end, right to the end for your bonus. The system we're using will be able to give me a list of people who stay right to the end, and those of you guys who stay right to the end will get a copy of that 7-figure joint venture checklist. So first of all, a bit about myself. For those of you, there's a lot of new people on the webinar today. So for those of you who don't know me or never heard of me before, my name is Sahel Khan, known as the Joint Venture Expert. If any of you heard of a guy called Jay Abraham, actually let me know, give me a yes in the chat box if you've heard of a guy called Jay Abraham at all. Okay, yes, I have heard of him. Okay, all right, Tony, good, thank you. Steve says yes, I do know of him. Okay, brilliant, yes. Adam says yes. Okay, brilliant, excellent. So Jay Abraham is actually one of my mentors. I did his program back in 2004, and that's one of the things that actually got me into doing joint ventures and brokering joint ventures as an expert. And one of his partners called Mark Goldman actually quoted me as a true rags to riches super success story, just like Andrew Carnegie. A guy called Jeff Mills, very well-known internet marketer, gave me the name The Master Connector. I've achieved over $16 million using joint ventures, and today I'll take you through step-by-step how I've done that. I'm also an international speaker, charging $5,000 a keynote speech. Nowadays, I do a lot of platforms selling. So I'm also the only Brit ever to be invited to speak about JVs in the US, which is quite an honor. I'm the founder of MyBrokeringBusiness.com, which is my main business, doing joint venture consulting and training joint venture brokers. I'm one of the top JV experts in the world. And I'm also the author of the upcoming book, which has now been completed, Guerrilla Marketing Joint Ventures, with one of my mentors who sadly passed away recently, the late J. Conrad Levinson. So that's all about me. Let's talk about, first of all, what I believe is the world's most powerful business strategy. And basically, it's joint ventures. Now, a joint venture is an arrangement of mutual benefit between 2 or more people or businesses who have complementary resources. Now, these resources can range anywhere from products, services, business assets, and a customer list that basically can be leveraged for minimal cost. Now, most people think of joint ventures as, I have a list, you have a list, let's do a joint venture, you promote my product, I promote your product. It goes beyond that. And today I'm going to show you 7 different strategies that you would never imagined about how to use joint ventures in your business. And according to one of my mentors, the marketing expert Jay Abraham, less than 5% of people know how to use joint ventures properly. And you guys are in that bracket, of people who are going to learn how to do joint ventures and how to implement joint ventures today. And, most people even don't know how to use them at all. So you're in a very, very privileged position today to be learning about joint ventures. Now, I want to ask you a question. What do you think is a business's most valuable asset? And I'd like you to type that now into the chat box and tell me, what do you think is a business's most valuable asset? So if you like to type that in the chat box, let's have a look at see what answers we get from you guys on the webinar. Okay, Adam says a customer list. Bob says a customer list. Yes. Okay. Tom says it's the clients. Ernie, hi Ernie. Ernie says it's a list of clients. It's list of clients and prospects. Okay, someone's mentioned employees there. Joe says relations with customers. Okay, so that's interesting, and also relates to reputation. Now, here's the thing, guys. A business's most valuable asset is the relationship between a business owner and customers. That's the most valuable asset that can be leveraged. Now, you've heard the term the money is in the list. Actually, the money really is in the relationship you have with the list, not necessarily with the list. So here's an example. When a business is sold, this asset is valued on a balance sheet. It also costs 6 times as much to sell to a new buyer. Now, bear that in mind. When we all spend money on lead generation, for example, and we spend money on pay-per-click, Facebook ads. It costs us 6 times as much to actually sell to a new buyer. But selling to the same customer again is pure profit. So once you've actually acquired that customer and you sell to them again, guess what? That is pure profit. Okay, so remember that's pretty cool. But here's the thing: take that one step further. If you're doing joint ventures, it costs you nothing because you're using other businesses' lists. Okay, so now it's costing you nothing to acquire a new customer or a new buyer. It's costing you absolutely zero upfront. Okay, so that's the power of joint ventures, and more of the profit is yours because there's no advertising cost. Now, something that I do a lot, and I work with clients a lot, is lead generation using joint ventures. And some of the things that we managed to do is bring down their advertising costs actually down to a minimal spend and increase their leads through joint ventures. Okay, so the upfront costs, there are no upfront costs to you at all to do a joint venture. That's the great thing about doing joint ventures. Now let's look at some of the benefits of using joint ventures. Now, joint ventures allow you to compensate, okay, weak areas in your business without nominal investment. So let's say, for example, a scenario. The greatest thing with joint ventures is this. You can acquire any resource in the world using joint ventures. Any resource. I'm talking any resource. If you want a jumbo jet, you want a private jet, you want a Bugatti Veyron, you can acquire these things right through joint ventures. Okay, these are other people's resources that you can get access to. Okay, there has to be a win-win situation though for you and the other person involved, and possibly their clients and customers. So an example is this: let's say if you're trying to increase your business and you need basically a sales center. You need a call center. Call centers are very expensive to set up. Now you need not only the equipment, you also need the people and the manpower. Now if you can't afford that, guess what? You go to another company that has a call center that's being underutilized, or, for example, you go to a company that operates their call center, let's say, for example, on the East Coast when it's closed during the West Coast times, and you can actually get them to do a joint venture with you where you can use their resources for free and just give them a kickback for every sale you make. This also works in the industry, the restaurant industry. For example, I've heard of restaurants that are open 24 hours a day. There's 2 shifts. One is a shift that's taken from the current restaurant owner who has the restaurant, and then at night when it's not being utilized, a person goes in there, does a joint venture, gets to use all the resources of the restaurant and gives the restaurant owner a kickback. So this is how you can compensate weak areas in your own business without the nominal investment. It also allows you to take advantage of unlimited business complementary skills and resources, and the great thing with that is once you've done one joint venture, guess what? You just repeat it again, and again, and you can do unlimited joint ventures. As long as the first one works and you've got a formula that works for you, it's very easy to implement again and again. It also allows you to boost your lead, client generation, and profits very quickly. And I'll talk about that later on, how we use joint ventures to build literally a $10 million company and develop leads for that company using just joint ventures. It also allows you great branding potential for free. Now, one of the reasons why I've become successful in such a short space of time is not only my knowledge of joint ventures and what I do, also teaming up with key persons of influence, or very influential people in the marketplace who I've teamed up with, and hence it's boosted my reputation in the marketplace by doing joint ventures with well-known people. Also allows you to make money out of thin air. This is the biggest thing which people talk about. It's like, okay, people say joint ventures, you can make money out of thin air using joint ventures. And today I'm going to show you exactly how you can do that. Okay, before we move on, let's talk about the joint venture mindset, okay, because this is quite important. The thing is, if you don't have the right success mindset, then you are definitely destined to fail. Visualization is the best means of manifesting the specific successful outcome. And the thing is, I use a lot of affirmations to attract the right energy and opportunities into what I do. So give me a show of hands. Give me a yes in the chat box if you've actually ever used affirmations before. I'd like to see how many people here right now have actually used affirmations before. It'd be really interesting to see this. Give me a yes in the chat box if you've used affirmations. Okay, excellent. Okay, cool. All right, so, okay, yep. So there's quite a lot of you who have used affirmations before. Excellent. Affirmations are really powerful. I mean, I use them all the time. I've used them over a period of time whenever I want to attract the right energy and opportunities in terms of what I'm doing. So I would say affirmations, are very, very important to actually go into and actually have a look and do. So what I want to show you quickly here is some affirmations that we can use, and some affirmations that I've used very successfully with not only my students but also my clients. So one of the first affirmations, and here's what I want you guys to do. This would be really cool. I would like you guys to basically repeat these affirmations after me. So first of all, the first affirmation we have here is, I am the right person in the right place doing the right things with the right people. So I hope you are repeating that after me, because that is a powerful affirmation. It's one I use all the time very, very successfully. So, and another affirmation is, I am aware of and open to unlimited joint venture opportunities. I am involved in the best high-level joint venture opportunities. Okay, so that is really, really powerful affirmation that you can use. And affirmations, the thing with affirmations is this. With affirmations, you have to take action. Okay, so it's not enough just to be doing affirmations and talking about affirmations. With affirmations, you have to also be taking action, which is really, really important. And the thing is, guys, also, you've got to see yourself as someone adding value to others. So this is very, very important. So I hope you did actually follow through on that and repeat those affirmations after me, because they're very, very powerful. And they really, really help when you're trying to grow your business or trying to attract the right opportunity to whatever you're doing in life. Okay, so that's one of the main things you've got to really, really think about, especially on the joint venture mindset. Really, really hone that down, because that is the most important thing that's gonna make you successful. I meet so many people around the world when I speak, And one of the main things that is missing is the mindset. It's the mindset that people need to break through to be successful and really, really grow their business and even see themselves as being someone successful, okay? Because to do joint ventures, that's what you need. You need to have that mindset, because I really want to condition you guys before we move on so you can understand exactly how this thing works. Yeah? Is that good? Brilliant. Let's move on. Okay, so we've got a lot of new people on this webinar. So for those of you who've heard my story before, it's a great story, and get a pen and paper out and write notes as much as you can, because you're going to learn some really cool stuff. For those of you guys new on the webinar, first of all, thank you very much for joining me on the webinar, and same with you guys, pen and paper, and take some notes, because there's some great lessons to be learned here. So I want to share with you my story of how I got into joint ventures and how I became very, very successful in a very short space of time doing joint ventures, and how you can do the same and replicate exactly what I've done step by step. So this is me in 2006. I built an 8-figure business using just joint ventures, and it was a very successful business. And basically, I had finally achieved success status, not only with a thriving business that was valued at $10 million. Also, I had that beautiful red Ferrari that I wanted when I was a kid. One of my dreams come true, and also I lived in a beautiful mansion, as you can see behind there, the Georgian mansion, and life was great. I had achieved everything I wanted to, and life was great. Now, come to 2008, and basically, during the recession, I lost everything and was totally broke. Now, it's very, very devastating and very hard to fathom, when you're living a certain lifestyle. I went from being a multi-millionaire to totally broke. So I really, really do sympathize with a lot of people out there who, have been successful and now probably are at a stage where, they've lost a lot of money, or, for example, they're on hard times. But, the thing is, you've got to just focus, really, because we all have some sort of skill, and we all have something that makes us successful. And in 2008, when I lost everything, it made me look inside myself in terms of what do I have, what resources and skills do I have. And I identified those. One of those major skills as the ability to do joint ventures. And in 2009, I turned it all around and completed the 7-figure deal in just 30 days. And what I'd like to do now, if it's okay with you, is just share my story quickly. Is that okay? Give me a yes in the chat box if you can see my picture there, first of all, because I know we had issues before where the screen just paused. If you can see the picture, so just give me a yes. And if it's okay with you, I'd like to share my own personal story with you, and hopefully it will help a lot of you on the webinar today. And definitely take some notes, because you guys are going to learn some really cool stuff. So I'll back up first, and I will talk to you first of all how I started. Okay, so here's the thing. I originally trained as an accountant. That's my background, basically. And while working at one of the top accountancy firms in London, I spent most of my time helping a lot of people and using the thing called the internet. So this was back in sort of 95, 96, when the internet was in its infancy. And I left a job as an accountant to study and get into computers. So while I was studying for it was a master's in information technology, international business, I wrote a thesis called The Impact of the Internet on the Manufacturing Industry. And I was unaware that my professor actually posted my thesis on bulletin boards. Now, if you can remember, Google was launched in 1998. So before then, if most of us know, this is obviously going to show our age, how old we are. Before Google, we had bulletin boards. Okay, that's what people used to use to post things on the internet, and that is basically what we had. So I started getting a lot of phone calls from companies, venture capital companies, .com companies, asking me, Sahel, we've read your thesis, basically a white paper, and we'd like to find out more information about how you can help us use this thing called the internet, and how we can make money or how it can help our business. So straight after, out doing my thesis, I was out sort of consulting with a lot of big companies, and one of my first clients was a company you may have heard of called QVC.com. So it was great. That year we went out and were doing consulting projects ranging from $25,000 to $40,000 each. So there was a lot of money back in those days in the dot-com boom. People were spending a lot of money on marketing, and we were pretty much internet consultants, and it was great. And what I also did was I created a showcase website. It was basically a one-page website with PDF training courses, computer PDF training courses like Microsoft Word, Access, Excel, PowerPoint, and we were selling that on a website which had an e-commerce shopping cart, and it was great. 1998 Google launched. We basically were on page 1 of Google. That's how easy it was to get onto Google when Google first launched, and we were getting orders every day from this like one-page website, and it was great. And this is what we showed as a showcase to our clients, that look, we know how to make money as consultants. And it's really bizarre because nowadays you get a lot of local business consultants or local business marketing consultants who are selling like mobile apps and mobile websites and showing companies and local businesses how to use the internet, when it was something that we were doing like probably 15 years ago. So we were doing that, and it was great. And we were doing that from 1998, 1999, and then 2000 came around. And what happened in 2000? Well, first of all, we had the dot-com bubble burst. Then we had Y2K. Now, the thing is, being internet consultants, we lost a lot of our clients because they closed the doors. They didn't have any funding for marketing or for consulting. And plus, after sort of when 2000 came, and we had the dot-com bubble burst, and then we had Y2K, no one really wanted to no one wanted to take on internet consultants, because obviously we, as computer consultants, were to blame for Y2K. So here's another scenario for you. The market changes, and you have a product or you have a service that can no longer be sold. You have to look at the current resources or the current marketplace, and basically try and reinvent yourself. Right? So we looked at it and we thought, we've got this small computer training website that's doing really, really well. I mean, we were making between $5,000 and $7,000 a month, like clockwork, with this small online business. It was very, very cool. And we decided to basically concentrate on building this one-page website. It was basically a computer training catalog online. So we decided that we need to really start building this this small computer training website. So early 2000, I came across a book, and you guys definitely want to write this down. The book's called How to Get Everything You Can Out of All You've Got by Jay Abraham. Okay, and that was my first marketing book that I read, and it blew me away. In the book, Jay spoke about something called strategic alliances and joint ventures, and that got me hooked. I thought to myself, you can actually go to a company, get them to market and promote your product or service for free up front, and basically just give them a kickback on the back end, give them a percentage of the sales or profits. So I decided to test out this theory, and I thought, okay, I'm going to go out and try this. So early 2000, I approached the largest IT recruitment agency in Europe with a joint venture. Now, here's the thing, guys. Everyone says, right, that the economy is dead, that there's no money in the economy, and the economy is down. But look, that is the time when the most opportunities happen. So a lot of people have become millionaires, and I've been very successful doing a downward economy, as well as an upward economy. So there's more opportunities right now than there have ever been. You just got to know how to go out and get them, or how to identify them. So I found this company, IT recruitment agency, based in London, and I approached them with a proposal. And here's what I said. I said, okay, if I could create an additional revenue stream for you without increasing your overheads, would you be interested? Guess what they said? They said yes. So I got a meeting with this company. Went to go and see them, and I sat there, and there was a couple of directors sitting in front of me, and the first thing they said was, okay, Sahel, so how are you going to create an additional revenue profit stream for us without increasing our overheads? I said, it's simple. It's called a joint venture. I then asked them, how many people do you have on your database? How many IT professionals? And they said, well, we've got about 150,000 IT professionals on our database. And I said, okay, and what are you currently doing right now? What sort of marketing are you currently doing to those 150,000 IT professionals? And they said, well, we send out a newsletter every fortnight, which advertises all the IT jobs. I said, look, right now the economy is down and there's no jobs for IT professionals. So obviously that's your main revenue stream. If I could create an additional revenue stream for you and not without increasing your overheads, which is what I promised, would you go for it? And they said, yeah, sure we would. So what I did was I said, look, I have this website. It converts very well. It sells PDF computer training courses. Now, I would like you to endorse my courses to your list of 150,000 IT professionals, and for everyone that they buy, we'll give you a percentage. Now, what do you think they said? They said yes. So it wasn't increasing their overheads because they're already doing marketing. All I did was I just inserted my computer training catalog or products into their existing mailing. Okay, they endorsed it, and we also set up an affiliate program which allowed them to track the leads, track the sales, so they could see how much commissions they were making on a weekly basis. And it was phenomenal. Now, this is the first joint venture that I ever did, and let me tell you, in our first year with our small computer training website, we did, I think, about $75,000-$80,000. Second year, we did just under $400,000 with one joint venture. So you can see the potential increase. I mean, we forget about doubling our business. I mean, what is that? That's not even, that's more than quadrupling our business within 12 months. So that's pretty phenomenal. That's a joint venture that you can easily do. I mean, you find another company that has the customer base you're after. If you have a product or service, approach them for a joint venture, get them to endorse your product, and give them a nice commission, and let them do the promotion and let them promote to their list. As long as it's something that adds value to what they offer already, it's a win-win situation. And I'll talk more about different sorts of joint ventures that you can do very, very easily later on. So that was the first joint venture I did, and that was a very successful joint venture. Now, fast forward to 2002, the whole industry and the whole space was changing, and we now had to look at here's the thing, we were doing PDF courses, okay, PDF training courses. A lot of our competitors started creating video-based courses. Now, guys, this is about 10 years ago, okay? And they were making more money than us. They had corporate customers. Now, we wanted to go down towards the corporate end of the spectrum. We couldn't do that with PDF courses. What we needed to compete with the big guys. And I went out and did a bit of research, and I found out that to create 1 hour of e-learning, right, was about $10,000. Very expensive. And, you know, we had competitors who had over 150 titles. Now, you work that out yourself. Each training program has about 12 modules, 1 hour for each module. That's, you know, 12 modules. So 12 times $10,000 for one course, times that by 150 courses. So for us, the investment, it was, we didn't have the investment for that. And remember what I said to you earlier about, you know, one of the great things with joint ventures is it allows you leverage without, you know, without any sort of investment that you have to make. Now, one of the things that I learned, again, going back to the book Jay Abraham, was something called licensing, and we're going to talk more about licensing later on. But here is pretty much what I did. Now, if you want to compete in the marketplace with bigger companies, and you don't have the capacity to be able to create or manufacture or research and development, you can use someone else's resources, okay? You can use someone else's material or content via licensing. And here's what I did. I went onto the internet. I searched for a company that did video training that was outside of the UK. Found a company in Clearwater, Florida. They did video-based training. They had over 160 titles. I approached them and I said, you know, I'd like to do a licensing deal where we can supply your computer video courses in the UK and Europe and I would like a license, and also we would like it white label. Now, white label is the same as private label rights or PLR. They get to put our branding on the video so nobody knows where they come from. So the company got back to us and they said, well, that's fine. It's going to cost you $100,000 for the license, okay? And I was like, okay, I don't really want to spend $100,000. So here's what I did. I jumped on a plane armed with $10,000 and went to go meet this company. Now they were shocked that, wow, we've never had a reseller, supplier, potential client jump on a plane and fly out to us to negotiate a licensing deal, pretty much. So we flew out to Clearwater, and it was interesting. I was waiting for the CEO of the company. She was a female CEO. It's a very successful company, $25 million turnover, training company, and I was waiting in her office, waiting for her to come out of a meeting, and I was scouring her bookshelf, and in her bookshelf she had some really cool books, like books from Dan Kennedy, Joe Vitale. She also had a book by Jay Abraham. So when I saw that, I thought, okay, this is interesting because she's going to understand exactly where I'm coming from when I start talking about joint ventures. So we had the meeting. The meeting was very successful, and I managed to persuade her to give us a license for $10,000 down and for a minimum commitment on a monthly basis. Flew back to the UK, and guess what? Now our business was in a position where we could offer video-based training to these big corporate companies. And let me tell you, in that year we did 7 figures. What was the investment for us to hit the 7-figure mark? $10,000. So you see the power of leverage and the power of licensing. It was absolutely phenomenal for us. That $10,000, that licensing deal, allowed us now to start, hit the 7-figure mark, and the business was growing even stronger. So fast forward now here to 2006. Where you can see me right now here in this picture. 2006, I was reading the something called the Sunday Times Fast Track, which I know we've got over in the US as well, and it shows you the 100 fastest growing companies in a sector, which was obviously IT. I found a company in there that was had 500,000 customers. It was a computer hardware company that sold hardware to consumers. And they were worth $160 million as a group. So I naturally thought to myself, this is a perfect joint venture. If I can get this company to promote and endorse our courses to their customers, it would be amazing. So again, like I've always done before, I sent them an email and said, if I could create an additional revenue profit stream for you without increasing your overheads, would you be interested? And I got a meeting with this company. And it's phenomenal. We went to go and see them. Beautiful glass building, very successful company, and went to their offices. They had a beautiful penthouse office suite at the top. I went inside, sat down, and the CEO and the chairman was the father, the CEO was the son. So they both sat in front of me in this huge boardroom table, and I started to do my pitch. I started to do I've done these joint ventures, this is what I've done before, this is what I propose. 10-15 minutes into my pitch, I got stopped. The chairman said to me, Sahel, we're not really interested in doing a joint venture with your business. And I was like, okay, why am I here? So I thought to myself, I must have said something to them that really must have pissed them off. And I thought, I must have said something that they don't like, and I think this is it. I think I'm going to have to leave. So before I got ready to leave, the CEO, who was the chairman's son, stood up and said, look, we don't want to do a joint venture with your business. We actually want to buy your business. So I was like, wow. We had an exit strategy 2 or 3 years later down the line. And at that time, I had 2 more partners. So we had to. I couldn't make the decision there. I went back, spoke to my partners, and we were a B2B, business to business. They were B2C, business to consumer. So obviously, they wanted to acquire our company to get into the B2B space. So we ended up doing a deal. It was part cash, part equity, and that was 2006. We basically took a part equity in a 160 million IT group. We all became multi-millionaires. I sat on the board of a 160 million IT group, and life was great. 2006, it was phenomenal. It was had achieved the pinnacle of what we would call success. And strangely enough, my exit strategy was 2008. In 2007, I stepped down as managing director and doubled the business because now I was working on the business rather than in the business, as they say. So 2007, I was getting ready to exit, cash out my shares, go and live on some desert island somewhere. As long as I had Wi-Fi, I could just relax. But that wasn't to happen because in 2008, we had the dreaded recession. And what happened was quite shocking. The company that we had sold out to, that had been around for like 26 years, went bust. Overnight, they went bust. And because we were directors of the new division and had signed guarantees with the banks, we were liable. So we were liable for millions of debt. And the banks came after us, and I had to liquidate my assets, negotiate with the bank to avoid being bankrupt, and that was it. I lost everything. Everything was gone. So that was 2008, and it was a very, very, how should I put it, a very, very depressing time for me because, I'm so used to living a multi-million lifestyle. I had everything. I had a Ferrari, Porsche. I lived in a beautiful house. The company that I was a shareholder in even had a private jet. So you can see how the level of business that was being done at that time. And that was it. Everything went, lost everything. And for me, I decided basically to move back home to my mum's house. And the funny thing was, and I always talk about this when I'm on stage, I say to people that, the funny thing was my old bedroom was still there, still the same as I left it. And it was quite funny because it was like my mum was waiting for me to come back home. So it's a funny joke I share on stage, but it's more serious than that. And, I came home. Okay, sorry, well, can you hear me? Can everyone hear me now clearly? Okay, thank you. So I came home, and it was a very depressing time for me. And the thing is, I had a lot of friends in the area who stayed in their jobs, became successful, bought their houses, had their cars, and some of my friends actually said to me that I should have stayed in my job as an accountant, which I found quite unnerving. I would have liked some sort of support, but it didn't really happen. And so I decided to go on a spiritual journey because for me it was like I said to my mum, look, I'm going to go bonkers. I'm going to go crazy if I'm just cooped up in the house being depressed. So I went on a little spiritual journey thinking, look, what do I do now in my life? Do I just, go out and do, volunteering work, or, what should I do? How should I tackle things? Because, I was also in survival mode. I still had bills to pay. I had to decide what to do moving forward in my life, and it was quite a phenomenal time for me to decide what do I do now in my life. I've gone from being a multi-millionaire to broke. I've lost everything. Where does life take me? So I was away for about a couple of weeks, and then I got a epiphany that really hit me, and it was like, once an entrepreneur, always an entrepreneur. Now, I didn't really want to be like the comeback kid, like, I've lost my millions and now I'm going to try and get all my millions back. I was hungry for, for a challenge. I was hungry for my next deal or to do something else. So I came back, and I still remember that day. I sat down, and my mother said to me, what are you going to do now in your life? And I said to my mum, I'm right at the bottom of the ground now. I'm right down there. And the only way now is obviously up. So I've got to get myself together and think, what is it that I can do, or what have I done that's been very successful that I can do again? And it hit me in my face. It was joint ventures. So I thought, I made all this money, $10 million plus, just doing joint ventures. And, I know it took me a couple of years, but I've done a couple of joint ventures. I made some good money. I must be able to do it again. So with that, I set myself a challenge in actually 2009 to make $1 million in 12 months, like we all do. And I was pretty serious and focused that I would do a couple of big joint ventures and I would get back on my feet. But I was very, very fortunate that I managed to do a very big joint venture deal, which was 7 figures, and I did that in just 30 days. Now, who here would like to hear exactly how I did that step by step? Give me a yes in the chat box. Okay, brilliant. Yes, yes, yes. Would love to hear that. Yep, I really want to hear this. Yep, yep. Excellent. Donna, Adam. Yep. Joe, absolutely. Okay, cool. I've got pen to paper. Okay, brilliant. Now here's the thing, guys. I'm gonna take you through step by step exactly what I did, and make some notes because this is pretty phenomenal. So here's what I did. I was again, here's the thing. When you learn about joint ventures, okay, what happens is your your focus as an entrepreneur, it expands to like 360 degrees because you're going to see so much opportunities. I mean, after this webinar, you're just going to start saying, damn, everywhere I go now, Sahel, what have you done to me? I see joint ventures wherever I go. So, I was reading again, I was reading a national newspaper on a Sunday, and I came across a one-page ad for a book called How to Use Your PC in 2 Hours, and it was aimed at the baby boomer market, which is obviously also the silver surfer market. So it was aimed at the older generation. Now, it wasn't the book that was interesting. What I saw on that page was they sold over 400,000 copies. So obviously they have 400,000 customers, okay, who bought this book about how to use computers. Now, remember my background. I used to run an e-learning company, an online training company, okay, so I knew online training inside out. Computer training videos was what we used to do. So what I did was I contacted this company and I said, look, you got this book which is great. I've actually bought it. I bought it from my uncle who really liked it, but he's more visual. Do you have a video version of the book? Guess what they said? They said no. Guess what I said? I said, I've got a video version of the book that, I guess your existing customers would love. And, is it something you'd be interested in, selling to your existing customers? So they said they were interested and they asked me to send it to them. Now, one of the things I always try and do is I always try and get a face-to-face deal. If not, I try and at least get a phone call to figure out where the opportunities are to do joint ventures. Now, here's the thing. I never had the video. I never had the DVD video. I just pitched it on the phone, okay? And they said, yeah, we're interested. I said, look, no, I'd really like to come out and see you so I can actually show you what it is and take you through it. And they said, okay. So we set a meeting, went out to go and see them, and I went to their offices, and the managing director said to me, this is a very successful company, by the way, 15, 20 million turnover direct mail company. And the MD said to me, okay, Sahel, thanks for coming. Do you have the DVD we can look at? And I was like, you know what, I was in such a rush. I left it at home in my office. Obviously, I didn't have it. So he said to me, he looked at me and thought, is this guy for real? And he said, look, okay, look, if you can get it to us within the next sort of 5 days, we'll definitely have a look at it because we are interested. And if it's the right fit, we would definitely love to promote it to our existing customers who bought the book. So I left the meeting thinking, oh crap, they really want to do a deal. They want to do a JV and I don't even have a product. So here's the first thing about joint ventures, okay? It's not about the product. It's about the distribution. If you can find a distribution or someone who's willing to promote a product and you get a good relationship with them, you can feed as many products as you want to that partner, okay? So remember that. The secret of doing big multi-million-dollar JVs is about distribution, and I'll talk more about that later. So I went out and I thought, you know what, I've got to find a video course for these guys to promote. So I went to everywhere. I went to Staples, Office World, and I went looking for this a DVD that I could actually JV with a product. And I didn't find it. The ones I found, when I contacted the companies were, oh, okay, Sahel, yeah, we can give you like 30% off or 20% off. And I was like, look, I'm not interested in just getting 20, 30%. I've got a client here. I think we can do a couple of thousand units of your product. Can you be flexible on pricing? And can you do like white labeling, branding? They said they couldn't do it. So I said, look, it's not really going to work for me. So what I decided to do was 2 days went and I said, you know what, I'm running out of time. So instead I went out to a website, and you might want to write this down. It's called elance.com, elance.com. And it's a great website. It's a site where you can find people like freelancers who can basically create projects for you. I put a project on there and I said, look, can someone create a DVD video course based on the book of the contents of this book? And I got it done in 3 days. I had it completed. It was a Camtasia video course. I paid $500 for it, and I owned the rights to it. So I took this DVD course to the company. They loved it. They loved it so much. The manager said, wow, this is amazing. It's just like the book. And I stood there saying, well, my team's been working on it for the last couple of days, when obviously I outsourced it. So outsourcing is great. And they were really interested. So I said, look, okay, here's the thing. How many people on your 400,000 list do you think we can upsell the video course to? And he said, well, I reckon about, over the next 12 to 18 months, at least 50% of them will buy it. So write that figure down, 200,000, okay, customers. And then I started to negotiate my commission, because when you do a JV, you have a commission or you have a percentage that, we'll make from a deal. And normally in the industry that they're in, it's like QVC, they work on a points basis, which they give you a percentage. And I said, look, I don't want a small percentage. Let's just do this. How much do you want to sell the DVD for? And he's like, well, we'll probably sell it for like $25, $20. I said, okay, look, give me $7.50 for each one you sell, and you keep the rest. But what I want you to do is you do all the duplication, you do all the marketing, you do all the the handling of the DVD and distribution. I'll just give you a DVD and a license to duplicate it as much as you want, and just give me $7.50 for each one you sell. So now, if you write that down on a piece of paper, 200,000, okay, times $7.50, what does that come out to? That's about 1.5 million, okay? So I sat there and I thought, wow, I can't believe it. I'm going to actually do this deal that's worth 1.5 million. So I sat there and I started to write out this joint venture agreement, which gave me access to 400,000 customers. The managing director of the company said to me, Sahel, this is really cool. If it works really, really well, I'd like to roll it out to my whole database. Now, guess how big his database is? You can write this down in the chat box if you want. Guess how big his database of customers actually was. You can write it in the chat box. Just throw some numbers at me in the chat box, and what do you think his how big his database was? Okay, Will says 1 million. Donna says 5 million. Ernie says 1 million. Okay, so here's the thing, guys. His database was actually 4.2 million customers, so Donna came close to that. I wonder if Donna's actually seen my webinar before. Okay, so 4.2 million customers, and I was like, wow. So I went back, changed my JV joint venture agreement, and in my joint venture agreement, okay, thanks, Donna. In my joint venture agreement, I wrote 4.2 million customers, so now I have access to 4.2 million customers. Okay, and now I'm obviously their JV broker, helping them bring products to their list. So this is pretty phenomenal. It's okay. Well, we've got a recording of this, so that will go out as well, just in case my audio goes in and out. So that was the deal I did. It took me 30 days to close that deal. Okay, guys. So that's what's possible, and it's $1.5 million deal. And see the simplicity on that. And I'm going to take you through now exactly how I did that. Okay. So this is the $1 million joint venture in 30 days. Okay. So I found a list of 400,000 buyers and contacted the company with a JV proposal, right, without the product. I ended up using elance.com to create a complimentary product for just $500. I introduced and licensed the product to the list owner, making $7.50 per unit sold without handling any fulfillment, okay? Over the period of 18 months, we did a total of 201,462 units, and I collected just over $1.5 million as my JV commission. Okay, so that's a classic example of how you can actually pull off a joint venture like that. And remember this, I may be well known right now as a joint venture expert, and people do actually approach me now, but back then nobody knew who I was. These guys didn't know who I was, so you can do this because, I may have a reputation now, and I may be one of the top joint venture experts in the world, but a few years ago I wasn't. Okay, so let's look at something else. I mean, people say to me, that's an offline joint venture. Do you get involved in online joint ventures, and what's your experience of online joint ventures? Now, online joint ventures pretty much for me is really just making connections, just brokering people or brokering deals. Here's an example of a 7-figure launch that I was behind that not many people know that I was behind it. I was only given permission to actually mention it after they did the launch, so this is pretty cool. Here's a guy called Chris Farrell, very well known in the internet marketing space. A guy actually from the UK who now lives in Beverly Hills, a good friend of mine. And he asked me to connect him with this guy who also is another big internet marketer, Mike Filsame, who's also a good friend of mine. They both launched a product called affiliate.com, and we made just under $4 million on that launch. Okay, so that's an example of how you can do an online joint venture, putting people together, okay, and creating a product and doing a launch to a list. Okay, so now let's do some training. Let's look at some joint venture strategies. So first of all, let's look at a joint venture strategy number 1. which is online joint ventures. Now this is pretty simple, okay? You find someone with a complementary product or newsletter and you contact them to promote your product or bundle it with their own. This is really the most classic, simple joint venture that people do, okay? And it could be done through emailing each other's lists or via a link on someone's newsletter or website. Okay, this is very, very simple. So this is a simple way to get started with joint ventures. If you want to go out and start doing joint ventures, this is a really, really simple way that you can actually do that, and it's a pretty cool way to do that as well. Licensing is really cool. This is one of the best things. Something that I do on a regular basis. I'm always out there looking for things that can be licensed. So if you definitely have a product or something that you own the rights to or even IP to, I would definitely be interested to look at that. So here's the thing. You can make money instantly by buying or owning the rights to things that are proven. Now here's the thing, okay? It has to be something that's proven and that's already sold. Don't try and do licensing with a startup product or a startup company because it won't work. And the thing is, because it's already been tested, you know, you don't need to spend all your time and energy to prove that it will actually sell, because it sells, and that's what's easy to promote, and that's what's easy to joint venture, because the actual product is proven and you just get a license for it. Now here's the thing, you can also charge people a royalty fee for the rights to your products and make money, and I do this with my joint venture training. My joint venture programs and training, I've actually licensed those out to business organizations as well. They pay a yearly license fee, and then they pay a fee to buy the actual manuals or any sort of information off me that they need to be able to do the training to their team, their staff, or their businesses. It's one of the quickest ways to make millions, one of the best strategies that you can use. So always look at the opportunity of how you can license what you already have or how you can acquire licenses. Joint venture strategy number 3, distribution. And this is simple. You find a distributor who has an existing sales channel, and then you find a good quality targeted product. Basically, you just take a cut on every sale made on both sides. Very, very simple deal. Another thing you can do is, if you negotiate exclusivity with a product owner and they don't have some kind of affiliate program in place, you put that in place and you help them promote that product to a distribution channel. So this is pretty cool, because at the end of the day, you know, like I've always said, you know, if you control the distribution, you control the money. Okay, so that's a great joint venture. Product creation is cool, something that I've done. You can approach people with great products that aren't electronic and offer to either transcribe them or repurpose them for an online or a digital product, which is what I've done with my 1.5 million deal. That way you can sell it as an electronic product to JV partners, and you ask for a percentage of sales on that. You can create multiple 6 figures with this strategy. Absolutely great. And guys, we're going to have some keep your questions coming. At the end, I'm going to have a Q&A, so I can help you with your questions. Brilliant. Okay, so when I say Tony just mentioned about the cut, it's your percentage, basically what they will pay you to introduce that product. If they sell that product in their distribution channel and you're introducing that product to them, there will be a percentage that they'll pay you for everyone that they sell. Okay. Upselling is great, another great strategy. What you can do is you can either do it internally with your own business, or you can show other companies how they can upsell other products or services to increase the average unit of purchase. But you can do it in your own business as well. You just go out and find other products for a cut. You can make a commission, or you can upsell someone else's product after your own product in your own business, and then basically give them a percentage. So here's the thing. If you have a product, okay, let's say for example, okay, let me just think of a product. Okay, let's say you have a luxury bathtub. Now, think about the customer who's coming to you to buy that product. What do they go to buy before they buy that? Or what do they buy after? Do they go and buy marble tiles before the luxury bath? And once they've bought the tiles in the luxury bath, what do they buy after? So here's the thing. Those two products that are before your product and after your product, they're great joint venture partners. They're great joint venture products. So you either have a luxury bathtub and you can upsell someone something else to go alongside that, like a bigger package, and use someone else's product, or you can do a joint venture with someone and sell their product to your customer base. So there's different ways you can do it. Reactivating inactive buyers. This is another great strategy. Joint venture strategy number 6. Now here's the thing. You've heard of something called customer attrition, okay? This is the amount of customers that businesses lose every year, usually around 20%. The thing is, we're so busy looking for new customers that we lose our existing customers and don't even know it. Now you can get together with other businesses and offer them your products or services to reactivate dormant customers for a percentage of the profits. I'll explain how this works. Let's say you have a big gym, okay? Now they rely on customers to be reactivated. You can get together with other businesses, offer your product to them in exchange for them reactivating that customer and giving you a percentage. Also, you can do it in your own business. You can go out there and get freebies from customers or from businesses that you can offer to your customers to bring them back. And when they do come back, if they go to those businesses to buy something, you also get a kickback from there as well, okay? Because remember, it costs 6 times as much to get new customers. This is my favorite, unconverted leads. Now, here's an example. Company A gets 5,000 leads a month, okay? And they convert 15% of them. Now, you might be thinking, wow, that's a really good conversion. But what about the other what about the other sort of 85%? What do they do with the other 4,240 unconverted leads? Now, here's what they do. If you have the same scenario, you can actually get other people to endorse your products to those unconverted leads and split the profits. Now, I'll give you an example of how we did this. Classic example. We sell online computer training, okay? We will get people inquiring for classroom-based training, but we don't sell classroom-based training. So that lead to us is no good. It's unconverted. We can't convert it. Guess what? We go to a company that sells classroom-based training and says, let's do a lead swap. If we give you our leads for classroom-based, you must have leads for online training. Could you give us those? If you don't want to give us those, we'll give you access to our product. Can you sell that to those leads? And anything you make, give us a percentage. You can do that both ways. It's pretty phenomenal. And they have lead swap clubs all over the world, and people actually do that. It's pretty cool. So let's go through some case studies. I'm going to show you some quick case studies of joint ventures that I've done with clients and students. Here's Kim. I met her on Mike Sames Marketers Cruise. We had a brief conversation over dinner about what I do in JVs and joint ventures. She contacted me 2 weeks after the cruise to help raise money for medical school. Now, she was working 2 or 3 different jobs, and actually she's now a qualified doctor. So, but at that time she was looking at earning more money doing JVs. So we had a strategy session, and I enrolled her onto my JV training program. I also connected her with a few of my contacts. Now here's the results. Pretty cool. 6 weeks later, she did her first JV deal. She put together a product owner and a list owner that I gave her access to. The product was a $99 a month membership site, and in her first week, she did 262 sales, taking 20%. Now, it's actually 5,240 in her first week. She actually did that on a week by week basis. So in the first month, she did about $20,000. So that's a classic online joint venture. Okay. Then she was approached by a drinks company because she was based out in Miami, telling everyone that she's a joint venture broker. So a high-end vodka drinks company approached her and said, look, can you help us find some joint venture partners for our drinks and get us into some of the big nightclubs? So here's what she did. She JV'd his drinks into some of the top nightclub chains in Miami, making $35 a case, and we had a minimum set order of $2,000 on each order. She made $70,000 on her first deal. And it was funny because she said to me, look, why do I want to become a doctor when I can make money doing joint ventures? And I said, no, look, stay in school, become a doctor, because I don't want your mum and dad chasing me down the street saying that my daughter wanted to become a doctor and now she's a joint venture broker. So that's a pretty cool story. Here's another case study. This is Mark. He completed my JV training and was originally looking to do a small joint venture. So after he had a strategy session with me, he decided to go all out and aim higher. He went through his own database, and here's the thing, he found a teddy bear manufacturer on his list. Now, how many of us actually go through our own network or our own list and actually spot opportunities for doing joint ventures? He then contacted one of the largest gift suppliers in the UK with a JV proposal. The gift supplier ordered 60,000 teddy bears in the first year, and Mark made just over $72,000 with that deal. Now, how phenomenal is that? Now, I asked him, look, I don't understand, teddy bears, what kind of teddy bears were these? They were actually Bob Marley teddy bears, so it was a niche that he exploited with the gift company. Here's another case study. This is George, enrolled into one of my JV training programs. And after he had a strategy session with me, he decided to do something very unique. He approached one of the US's biggest marketing experts with a JV proposal. He then contacted me and said, look, are you willing to promote your JV training program to this experts list of 20,000 buyers? And the next few months we should do over 200K, and George takes 15% fee for actually putting that joint venture together. Here's another great case study. Dan enrolled onto one of my JV training programs. After we had a strategy session, he decided to do a quick online JV. So he approached one of the US's biggest internet marketing organizers with a proposal. He then contacted me and said, Sahel, can you find me some JV partners? So I connected him, his client, with some JV partners, and Dan did a 60-minute webinar, and his client made $50,000 on that 60-minute webinar, and Dan actually picked up 25% as his joint venture commission on that. This is my best joint venture case study to date. John enrolled on my JV training program. He was already involved in big real estate deals, so he knew how deals worked, but he wanted to put together some corporate joint ventures. So he approached a software company in Ireland, connected them with a major distribution company in the US. He closed the deal at $2 million in year one, okay, and took 15% as his commission. He then closed another deal after that, just under $1 million with Microsoft. Okay, so this is pretty cool what you can do with joint ventures. Here's another case study. I was approached by a personal development company selling training to organizations. They had a great product and only 3 licensing clients, bringing in 80% of their sales. Okay, so 20% of their clients were bringing in 80% of their sales. We had a strategy session. I decided to take them on as a client and help them build a licensing and reseller platform so they could reach $1 million within 12 months. They were doing about $500,000. I charged them $25,000 as a retainer, which is what I charge, plus 15% of gross sales achieved from brokering joint ventures for them. I helped them close their first JV deal in 30 days, and that was just under $100,000. Okay, so that's pretty cool what you can do with joint ventures. Now, here's the thing. Would you like the same results using joint ventures in your business? Okay, this is pretty cool stuff that we're doing here, right? Now, I want to just talk to you guys about a program that I'm organizing and I'm planning on running. It's called my 2-day joint venture intensive program. Now, for those of you guys who are interested in working in partnership with me, closely with me, helping you, here's what you get. You get 2 days live JV training with me, worth $10,000. Day 1, we're going to do a lot of joint venture training, and I'm going to show you how to put joint ventures together and actually create all the joint ventures for you, okay? And obviously day 2 we'll do some live JVs. You'll also get 6 weeks mentoring and support from me. I will help you broker your first JV deal. Now, I normally charge $25,000 for that, okay? Remember that. I'll also help you with some creating your own personalized JV deal scripts while you're at the 2-day intensive. We'll also create some personalized JV agreements just for your business and your product. And we'll also create a personalized JV action plan at the 2-day joint venture intensive, okay, which is pretty cool. Plus an amazing bonus. You'll have the chance to JV with other people in the room and walk away with a joint venture deal on day 2, okay? So I'm all about action. I'm all about giving you results before you leave the 2-day intensive. So some of you may even walk away with a 6 or even 7-figure deal, okay, depending on who's in the room. Now here's some real hardcore facts. I charge $25,000 up front plus a percentage for brokering joint ventures. For my 3 days JV brokering training, I normally charge about $15,000. The total value of this program then would be about $70,000, okay, for a 2-day event like this. However, for my 2-day joint venture intensive program, for 2 days of live JV training, me acting as your JV broker, all you pay is $2,500. Okay, that's all you pay. Now this is something that I'm testing right now, so the price may increase. I would really love to do this at $5,000, which is peanuts compared to what I normally charge for a 3-day program. I charge $15K for a 3-day program, but I want to create some real results for people that they could walk away from this 2-day intensive with a joint venture deal done, okay, or even within 30 days I'll close a joint venture deal as your broker. But wait, there's more. I will take all the risk, okay, if you are willing to do some of the work and participate as well, but I'll take all the risk. And here's how I'm going to do that. All you do is pay just 50% upfront to attend and get all the training and JV resources, okay? You only pay the remaining 50% if we manage to close your first JV deal by January the 31st. Now I'm hoping that I can actually close some deals on the day and get you walking out this 2-day intensive with a joint venture deal under your arm. But if not, then I'm giving until January the 31st, which is the new year, to kickstart and at least help you close your first joint venture deal. Whether it's a 5-figure, 6-figure, or 7-figure deal, I'll help you close that deal. So all you pay up front is $1,250, okay, to attend the 2-day intensive, get all the training, all the JV resources, get my help to help you close your first JV deal. And actually, you know what? We'll also identify joint venture partners for you on the 2 days that you can walk away with a joint venture partner list, a script, the agreements, and a joint venture action plan how to actually go out and do this. And I will work with you to help you close your first JV deal by January 31st. Who knows, we may even do it on day 2, okay? But all you pay is 50% up front to attend the 2-day intensive. It's just $1,250, and you only pay the remaining $1,250 if we close your first JV deal by January 31st. Okay, so I'm putting myself on the line here to really go out for you guys. So it's strictly limited to 6 places only. Why 6? Because this is a joint venture guarantee like no other, and it's going to be very intense, and I want to make sure I've got the right people in the room so I can actually try and close some deals there, and also work with you guys on a one-to-one basis to make sure that we get you that joint venture guarantee. So the 2-day live joint venture intensive program is actually next week in Las Vegas, December the 19th and 20th. Total value of the package is $70,000. You pay just $1,250 to attend. Okay, remember that. That's peanuts. And only pay the remainder if we close your first joint venture by January the 31st. But like I say, I'm going to really push and see if I can get some deals done in the room. That's the main aim that I'd love to do for day 2 and get you out of there with the joint venture deal done, signed, and delivered. So here's the next step. If you're serious, ask yourself this question, okay? 2014 is around the corner, guys. 2013 has been my best year ever so far, so I'm really hoping to do more than that next year, okay? What is it costing you to stay where you are? Okay, so remember, ask yourself that question. This is costing you $1,250, which is peanuts. Most people can't afford to attend my program, so there is no excuse here. But what is it costing you to stay where you are? Is it costing you more than $1,250? What is it costing you to stay where you are? Okay. So what I want you to do, if you're really interested in attending my 2-day joint venture intensive, that's on the 19th and 20th of December, actually next week in Las Vegas, you need to submit your application below ASAP. It's www.jointventurecircle.com/intensive, and I'm just going to write this down in the chat box. www.jointventurecircle.com/intensive. Okay. Now I've never done anything like this cheap before, but this is going to be all about results for me. If I can document this and if I can pull it off, then I'm looking to do some of these intensives next year on a big scale, on a very big scale. So, see if you qualify for the program. There is no buy now button because I have to qualify you. You have to have the right criteria for me to be able to give you that joint venture guarantee. The only way you can do that is by going to that website below, www.jointventurecircle.com/intensive. Give me your information in the form. There's some detailed information there, and as soon as I receive that, as soon as my office gets it, we'll organize an opportunity to get on a call, and I'll take you through everything on the phone call. If I qualify you there and then you pay the upfront fee. I only have 6 places, so you have to act very quickly if you are qualified or if I qualify you. So guys, please go over to that URL and submit your information. And if you've got any more questions for me, I'd love to take your questions. Any more questions about the intensive, or any questions about you know, the joint venture training we've had today. Please give me your questions in the chat box, or any questions you want about how to help you grow your business. Give me some examples of what you're doing right now, and I'll see how I can help you. I'm here to help you guys also. So for those of you who want to go to the intensive in Vegas next week, www.jointventurecircle.com/intensive. Yeah, submit your information details there, and we'll get on a call, and I'll see if you qualify for the joint venture guarantee and the program. But if you've got any more questions for me, guys, please put them in the chat box right now. Thank you. Oh, thank you for your comments, guys. Thank you. Yeah, I just hope you learned a lot from the webinar, and you can take those forward with you in terms of what you're doing in your business. Yep. Also, at the same time, a lot of you are saying that, will I do it in the UK? Well, here's the thing. If I get enough people interested from the UK who want to do it, put your information in that form, jointventurecircle.com/intensive. And if I get enough of you from the UK who are interested, I'll definitely do something for you guys in the UK. But for now, we've got it in Las Vegas next week. But if I get a lot of interest, if I can get 6 people for the UK, yeah, I'll definitely do that for you guys. So, if you're interested and you're from the UK or even Europe, put your details in, and yeah, we'll take it from there. Thank you, Donna, for your kind words there. Thank you very much. I hope you guys really enjoyed that. It looks like you have. Sorry, guys, for the delay, but we got there in the end. So I really hope you enjoyed that information there. Cool. I mean, most of you guys are still here. By the way, you will all get the joint venture checklist. Thank you for staying till the end of the webinar. A distribution deal is not always oh, brilliant, Ernie. Well, I've got your details, Ernie, so if it's something that you're definitely interested in, yeah, let's do it. I mean, I've got a couple of people already lined up, actually looking at it right now. But yeah, Ernie, if you can, I know I've got your details, but if you can just fill that form in for me again at that URL, Ernie, and that will go to my office, and then they'll print it out for me, and I'll get access to it. And then yeah, let's do that. Let's get on a call. Thank you, buddy. Yeah, if you send it in, we'll get on a call anyway. And yeah, if it's cool, I'd love to see you in Las Vegas. So that's really cool. Yeah, sorry, Tony. As I was saying, yeah, a distribution deal is not always a one-way sale arrangement, because you are working with you may be working with a product owner and then a distribution partner. So it's a two-way arrangement, because you will get a commission from the product owner. You can also get a commission from the distribution owner as well. So you can actually, it's what we call double dipping. So you can actually do a JV by doing double dipping. So it's pretty interesting, the things that you can do. So that could be really, really cool. But yes, guys, like I say, if you're interested, please go to www.jointventurecircle.com/intensive, and yeah, put your details in there, and I'll be happy to get on the phone with you guys. And yeah, I'll be looking forward to see all of you guys in Las Vegas. There's quite a few of you on the webinar today, so like I say, I've only got 6 spots. And first of all, guys, thank you very much for bearing with me today on the webinar. It's really good to have you guys on there. And if you've got any more questions for me, you can put that. All right, Tony, no problem. Tony, could you just put in the chat box what you do, Tony? What is your business? I'd really like to find out exactly what it is you do. If you want to put it in the chat box, or if you want, Tony, you're welcome to fill in the form. I mean, you can, worst case scenario, you can just get on a phone call with me, and I can go through and see if I can help you in your business in any way. Like I said, I'm here to help out as much as I can. And if you want to do that, that's entirely up to you. Okay, brilliant. All right, guys, I think we will be probably wrapping up if we haven't got any more questions. Any more questions? Adam, Bob, Gunnar, Joe, Kerry, Mark? Steve. Calling out names random there. We've spoken before. I couldn't get a deal put together for your last Vegas intensive. Ah, Tony. Well, you know, this is $1,250 for this. The last joint venture program that I did was 15K. So I understand that, you know, 15K is a lot of money to pay for a 3-day program. With that program, though, you get access to me for 12 months. So that's why it's at that level. Here, you know, I'll work with you for more or less 6 weeks to help you close the deal, and obviously I get something out of it as well. So I'm looking to work with you know, you guys on that respect and help you as well. So Bob, the free JV checklist will be emailed to you. I've got your email. Oh, thanks, Tony. Yeah, if you can pull some strings, I'd love to see you in Vegas. By the way, Tony, just make sure you do fill that form in, and just put your details in that form. And you know, Mark, definitely, yeah. I mean, if you've registered for this webinar, you will get an automatic email from GoToWebinar, and the replay link will be in there. Thanks to hell, when in Oslo. Yeah, definitely. I am. I will be coming over to Australia soon. I've got a lot of good friends there. Cohen Ray is a good friend of mine. He does some JVs. So yeah, I'd love to come out to Australia. I mean, I'm launching my book Guerrilla Marketing and Joint Ventures, spring 2014. So hopefully that'll be over in Australia as well. So yeah, there'll be opportunities for me to come out there as well. So I'd love to do that. All right, guys, you're all still here. So that's great. Any more questions? If not, then I'll be probably wrapping up the webinar. Hi, Bob. Best email address for me. The best email address for me, I'll type it in here for you. There you go. The best email address for me, guys, is thejvexpert@gmail.com. That's my personal email. So you're welcome to get hold of me. If not, find me on Facebook, facebook.com/thejvguy, or even on LinkedIn. So you can contact me directly there. Okay, guys. Thank you very much for coming on the webinar. Again, before I go, if you go to that URL, www.jointventurecircle.com/intensive. I'd really love to see you guys. I know it's very short notice, but trust me, it's going to be the best thing that you guys can do for 2014, and that's why I want to do it, because I've got nothing else planned in my diary really until February when I do my next 15K program. So I've got time to be able to concentrate and work with you guys on a one-to-one basis, rather than charging you $25,000 up front. I want to try and see if I can help you guys as much as you can, and pull off some JVs and help you guys do JVs as well, which would be pretty cool. All right, guys, so I think we're going to call it a day there. Thank you very much, guys, wherever you are in the world. Have a great evening, afternoon, morning, and thank you very much, guys, for your time today. I really appreciate it. Thank you.